She demanded, "Let me go through your phone right now." I handed it to her unlocked and said, "Be my guest." Then I picked up her phone. The terror that washed over her was all the proof I needed. 31 male, learned something crucial last Tuesday night. When someone suddenly becomes obsessed with your supposed secrets, they're usually just screaming about their own. My girlfriend Natasha and I had been together for 3 years. A good relationship, or so I thought. We lived together, had a comfortable life. I managed a small bookstore. She was an interior designer. The paranoia started about 2 months ago, like a slow poison. Little comments about who I was texting. Probing questions about why I smiled at my phone. Jokes that weren't really jokes about me having a work wife. I brushed it off at first. We all have insecure moments. But it escalated. Last Tuesday, we were watching Netflix when my phone buzzed. It was a text from my assistant manager about switching shifts. I replied quickly and put it down. "Who was that?" Natasha asked, her eyes narrowed. "Jasper," I said, "scheduling stuff." At 9 p.m., he works the closing shift. Just asking about tomorrow. She stared at me for a long, uncomfortable moment, then suddenly stood up. "Give me your phone." I was genuinely confused. "What? Why? If you have nothing to hide, it shouldn't be a problem," she said, her voice sharp with accusation. The thing is, I truly had nothing to hide. My phone was a wasteland of boring work texts, memes from my brother, and a fantasy football group chat. But something in her desperation, in her absolute certainty that she would find something, made me curious. This wasn't Natasha I knew, so I unlocked my phone and handed it to her. "Be my guest." She snatched it eagerly, her thumbs already swiping through my apps like a seasoned detective. Then I reached for her phone, which was sitting on the coffee table. The change was instantaneous and electric. Her face went from triumphant to terrified in less than a second. "What are you doing?" she squeaked, her voice an octave higher. "The same thing you're doing," I said calmly. That's different." "How?" "You can't just... If you have nothing to hide, it shouldn't be a problem." I echoed her own words back to her. She clutched my phone tighter, as if it were a shield. "This isn't about me." "Apparently it is," I said, picking up her locked phone. "Password." I forgot it," she stammered. "You forgot your own phone password?" "It's new. I changed it recently." She was actually sweating now, all because I was holding her phone while she was freely scrolling through mine. "Natasha, what's on her phone?" "Nothing," she insisted. "Why are you making this about me? You literally demanded to search my phone." I agreed. "Why can't I do the same?" Because you're the one acting suspicious," she yelled, even as she was scrolling through my completely innocent messages. The projection was so obvious, it was almost painful. She was a detective hunting for a crime she herself was committing. I set her phone down. Okay, she asked, surprised. "Yeah, you don't have to show me." Relief flooded her face. "Good, because this is ridiculous but I know everything I need to know now." I finished for her. The relief vanished. "What does that mean?" "It means you're looking for evidence of something you're guilty of," I said quietly. "It's classic projection." "I'm not projecting anything." "Then why are you terrified of me seeing your phone?" She threw my phone at me. "You're being manipulative," she screamed before storming off to bed. The guilty flee when no one pursues, as the saying goes. And Natasha had just sprinted away from a race I wasn't even running. The next morning, she acted like nothing had happened, but she took her phone into the bathroom with her while she showered. She'd never done that before. I decided then not to confront her, but to wait, because guilty people always tell on themselves. You just have to be patient enough to listen. Patience paid off faster than I expected. Her paranoia about my life became her entire personality. Every time I went to the store, she demanded to know how long I'd be. If I was 5 minutes late, she'd accuse me of lying. She even demanded I send her a selfie from the milk aisle to prove where I was. Every controlling behavior she exhibited was a confession of her own actions. I started documenting everything in a notebook just to keep my own grip on reality. Last Thursday, the first ray all crack appeared. She was at a client dinner at a specific restaurant, Romano's. Except my buddy was at Romano's that same night and sent me a picture of his table. No Natasha in sight. She came home late, smelling of a cologne that wasn't mine, and launched into a detailed, unprompted story about her client's marble countertops. She was a terrible liar. While she was in the shower, her phone lit up on the dresser. I didn't touch it. The lock screen preview was all I needed. A text from someone named A. It read, "Last night was amazing. Can't wait to see you again." I took a photo of the notification with my phone. Evidence. The next day, I called Romano's and confirmed she never had a reservation. The lies were piling up. I knew A was Alex Morrison, someone whose name I'd seen in her tablet's email history, which she had foolishly left logged in. I decided to test her one last time. On Sunday, I suggested we do something spontaneous. She claimed she had brunch with the girls. I mentioned that I had run into her friend Stephanie, who said Natalie hadn't been to brunch in months. Then I lied. I told her I had called her office to surprise her with lunch, and they said she hadn't been in all week. The color drained from her face. "You're checking up on me?" she accused. "No," I said, "but it seems you weren't where you said you'd be." Again. The final piece of the puzzle fell into place when my phone rang 20 minutes after she stormed out of the apartment for her brunch. It was an unknown number. "Is this Marcus?" a man's voice asked. "This is Alex Morrison. I think we need to talk." The plot twist I didn't see coming. Alex, it turned out, was not a villain, but another victim. Natasha had told him she was single, that she had just gotten out of a long, toxic relationship with a controlling and paranoid ex. She had been playing us both for 4 months. Alex, after his sister recognized Natasha at lunch, confronted her, and she confessed. He called me because he was furious and thought I deserved to know the full truth. I texted Natasha. Alex called. "We need to talk." She was home within an hour, a hurricane of lies and deflection. "He's obsessed with me. He's stalking me. I was trying to protect you." The performance was desperate and, frankly, insulting. I looked at her, the woman I had loved, and felt nothing but pity. "Natasha, I need you to leave." The tears stopped instantly. The anger, the bargaining, the manipulation. She tried it all. "You're really breaking up with me now? When I need you most." "I'm breaking up with you because you showed me who you are," I said, my voice firm. "Someone who would rather be right than be loved. Someone who would rather tear me down with false accusations than face their own guilt. I'm not your cleanup crew." After she left, I changed the locks. Her sister came to pick up her things and apologized, admitting that Natasha had been secretive and defensive for months. I later heard from Alex that she had tried to spin a story to him about how I was abusive and he needed to save her. When he refused, she blocked him. My favorite part? She's now posting inspirational quotes on Instagram about knowing your worth and the danger of toxic relationships. One of them, which I screenshotted, reads, "The guilty are always the most suspicious. The irony is so thick you could cut it with a knife." I'm single now and more relieved than sad. Living under a microscope of baseless suspicion while your partner is the one being deceitful is a special kind of psychological torture. The apartment is quiet now, peaceful, and when my phone buzzes, I know it's just my assistant manager, not a sign that I'm about to be interrogated. Sometimes the simplest test, handing over your phone and asking for theirs in return, reveals the biggest truths. And sometimes, when someone repeatedly accuses you of something, they aren't talking about you at all. They're just reading you a page from their own diary.